the education side, graduation rates are up in Long Beach Unified School District. Graduation rates are up at Cal State Long Beach. Student success is stronger at Long Beach City College. We've added a few programs. You probably know, if you went to Long Beach Unified, you can go to Long Beach City College for free for the first year. We also, at Cal State Long Beach, you probably know that we had 90,000 applications this last year, the most of any school in the entire Cal State system, and the 5th most applied to university in the country. Number 5 of all schools was Cal State Long Beach, which is good for the whole city. We also know that we're trying to increase access to preschool, especially for low-income families that can't afford access to early childhood education or child care, and that's something we've been working on as well. So education, things are strong. Things are strong when it comes to even things like crime, for example. So let me share with you some numbers. You probably read in the paper that Long Beach last year, the crime rate was actually flat. And so unlike other cities, if you look at the city of Los Angeles, look at other large cities that saw, in some cases, double-digit increases of crime, the crime rate in Long Beach actually stayed flat. And in some areas, went down, like we had less homicides, for example, last year than we did the year before. That doesn't mean that we still don't have crime issues. And it doesn't mean that there still aren't challenges in neighborhoods that we face. That is all true, but the data tells us that, that the numbers are going in the right direction. And I will tell you, while we're not at the mid-year point yet, the mid-year numbers for this year are looking good and compared also to last year and the year before. Now, we still have issues, we know, with some types of property crime. We know that there are still bad guys out there that are stealing packages off front doors. We know that bikes are being stolen. All this kinds of stuff are still happening, but it's not happening at the intensity that it was. And if you look back 5 years ago or 10 years ago, the numbers were dramatically worse. I mean, dramatically more crime 10 years ago than there is today. So those are some overall pictures of the budget. I'll tell you, this is the first budget in 10 years that we've actually had no deficit. So we've completely balanced the budget before it's even released to the City Council. So I always present a balanced budget, but normally there's a little deficit where we have to cut. There is no deficit this year. And that's because we have been, I believe, not overspending, and we have been kind of tightening the belt a little bit, investing in small doses so that we're not over-investing all at once, but the budget is balanced this year. So those are all the, I think, positive trends. We still have some challenges. We have way too many folks in the city that still need assistance when it comes to housing issues, so we're trying to look at addressing those. Housing costs have skyrocketed. If you're renting or trying to find a home in Long Beach, it's very hard. And the truth is that we have a vacancy rate of probably 3%, maybe. Right now, it's a very low vacancy rate. What happens if you have a low vacancy rate? Rents go up, and rent folks can charge pretty large prices. And so that's something that is a challenge and something that no problem. Go ahead. And so we know that is a challenge. We know that homelessness is a real issue that we have to do a better job of addressing. And it ties into the housing challenge. Homelessness is, as you probably have read in the paper or have seen across the country, home accessibility is dramatically increasing in almost every city in the state, especially California, and homelessness across the state, more folks are falling into homelessness because of not having access to housing. So there's not enough housing supply at all levels across the state, and for a variety of reasons we didn't build it. Oftentimes the community didn't want to build housing, or it wasn't appropriate to densify a certain neighborhood, or it was just not enough community building of housing, all led to where we are today, which is really a crisis for folks that are trying to get housing. Those are two big challenges. What are some challenges ahead? Keeping an eye and being diligent about crime and what we're doing. I will tell you that this year is the first year, last year in the budget cycle, that we actually added police officers versus reduced police officers in the last 10 years. So we have added firefighters versus reducing firefighters. So all the reduction that happened during the recession, we're now adding cops again, we're adding firefighters. So we restored, I believe we restored 21 new firefighting positions, including a paramedic rescue position here in North Long Beach. We have added also and created a new division, South Division, for the police department. We've also just hired an additional 80 police officers. And on top of that, we want to contract with Metro to hire an additional 30 police officers for the Blue Line. So those are some of the things that are happening on the public safety side, which I think are good. And Dan, give me a couple things you wanted me to touch on there. And you listed MTA police. Okay. You probably also have read a little bit about the Queen Mary. Redeveloping the entire site around the Queen Mary. So that's something that we're pretty excited about. It's been neglected for a long time, and the Queen Mary has been neglected for a long time and needs a lot of repair. But it's important that we develop that as best possible. In addition, we're working right now, I mentioned to you on the city budget. You probably also are aware that Measure A, if you remember that measure, which was the revenue measure of last year, whether you supported it or you didn't support it, it passed the city by about 61%. What that is going to do is it's allowed us to hire these police and firefighters. But as important is that we're starting right now the largest public works, street and infrastructure repair that we've done in the last 50 years. We're spending more on streets, sidewalks, park maintenance, and repair, and now that we passed Measure A, than we have in the last 50 years over the course of the next 5 years that we have the plan for Measure A. What does that mean? That means an immediate $20 million in parks. It means that this year we're spending $50 million on streets and sidewalks. We're slurry sealing across the city. We're replacing top lots. We're fixing up community centers. And so there's a list of that all available. So if you want to know exactly what's getting fixed, you go to longbeach.gov, and there's a Measure A webpage, and that'll tell you exactly what is out there. How are you? Come on in. And they'll tell you exactly what's actually getting fixed and what we're working on. And so those are some of the things that are happening. Obviously up here, you guys know you have a huge project that is starting out here. It's going to be a big project, and I'd love to say it's going to be, without error and perfect, and it's not going to be an inconvenience, but it's going to be a tough project. But as you know, it has to get done. We have to fix the water systems. And I think we have someone from Parks coming next month, to hopefully give you guys some information about how that's going to work and the rollout of that project. I'll also just mention that we also right now are developing, you may have heard of this developer called Lab Industries. They have purchased, gosh, how many sites is it?
It's like 20, 18 to 20.
Yeah, it's about 18 to 20 retail sites. One developer purchased all of them in North Long Beach on Atlantic. And they're creating essentially a new kind of community of independent stores all across Atlantic Boulevard from both sides of South Street, connecting that whole stretch of Atlantic, including the empty lots. They bought all of them. One developer, the same developer that has developed the Lab in Costa Mesa, or the Antec Mall if you've been to it, or the Anaheim Packing District if you've ever been to that. This is a quality developer with a lot of deep pockets that's going to do something really special. So we're really hoping that this is the kind of project that is going to create a really strong kind of neighborhood feel. This developer is not interested in dumping a bunch of national chains in these spots. The developer is interested in unique retail locations, coffee shops, and places for the community, food places, and tie it all together with a cool kind of theme for North Long Beach. So we're pretty excited about that as well. And so I want to just kind of close with that. And just say it's obviously an honor being your mayor, and I thank you for having me. I want to be able to answer a couple of community questions if you have them. So thank you very much.